I'm your one and only Lady Guns, which means I'm absolutely greatness under no stipulation.
Why don't we ever do the sound effect anymore after your name? I mean, I miss the sound effect, like the...
I just don't feel like it.
No, you got to...
I'm not dropping bombs today. Thank you.
Yes, you Appreciate it. She always drops the bomb. Man, she is the bomb.com.
Bless us.
You are.
That's already taken.
Oh, you know, I'm
.com.
quiet yet significant. I am Miss Divine.
And I am O.
I'm not quiet.
You're O?
Yeah, I'm O, owner of Tech Consulting Group, owner of TCG Radio.
Get it.
Hey, that comes on.
That comes on every Thursday at 9 Eastern Time.
AM, PM.
AM, yes, AM in the morning when you're driving. Yeah,
Yes.
that time.
Great job.
Hello, everybody. My name is Okletey. I'll be the host of Cloud Money, coming on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I love your excitement.
Thank you. I've always wanted to do something like this. Didn't know how it was going to happen, but I really feel like what's going to be provided is much needed to the community.
Look at God.
I love that.
Come on, Crypto K.
Yeah.
Say nuts.
I mean, I do want to start off with a question, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many of y'all know about Bitcoin?
I do.
I do.
Y'all do. Okay, yeah. Look at
Heard about
He was like, "This is my audience."
Yeah.
Heard about it. I
For
don't
those
know
that
about
have not
it. Yeah,
heard about it, understand it.
Okay.
Is Bitcoin going to be the next euro?
I want to say Bitcoin has literally became the next dollar already. Already. Well, they compare it to gold. They compare it to gold, but I think about electricity or the utilities that Duke Energy has almost like a monopoly over, but doesn't necessarily because of the geographic regions. I really feel like the power of decentralization is very powerful, but through finances, you're able to help the unbanked be banked. So Akon recently just endorsed Bitcoin as well, and how I came into Bitcoin was just trying to figure out as a college student, how can I try to get ahead of all my other peers at Harvard and MIT and Princeton, because I was at A&T. So I had
different than a Harvard, and Princeton, and a Yale.
Yeah, so so I always had to keep myself on that level. I went to A&T, started off as a biomedical engineer, but I started looking more on the supply chain management side of things, and I really felt like the logistics wise that it was going to just be awesome, something that you can be able to track and trace, but couldn't really pinpoint the person.
So just so you know, I can attempt to keep up with you because I am not right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm here, man.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. So explain the concept of Bitcoin like you're explaining it to a 10-year-old. I'm not promising I will follow or comprehend, but I think that's my best shot.
So my business partner, Nisha, has this great example that we always use. So when you go to Chuck E. Cheese, you take your USD and you turn it into tokens to participate in Chuck E. Cheese ecosystem. So once you use the tokens and get back a ticket, you redeem it for prizes. So that's almost just about as finite as the process with Bitcoin. So there's a process called Bitcoin mining. So the people who mine Bitcoin are like the Bitcoin farmers. So the mining machines are literally like money trees. So it uses electricity, generates hash power to solve an algorithm. The machine that gets credit for solving the algorithm gets prized with a piece of a Bitcoin, so the reward. So in 2020, there's going to be an event called the halving. So every 4 years, Bitcoin reduces its prize pool. So at one point, it was like 12 Bitcoins per successful transaction on a block, and then it's going to be 6, and then 3, and then keep dividing in half until all the Bitcoins are basically mined up. And a fun fact, there's only 21 million Bitcoin in existence, and about 18.3 million have already been mined up.
That's the best explanation I've ever heard.
Right.
And for that
Shout
to make
out to you,
sense
Nisha.
me, for that to make sense to me, that's huge. Yeah, because none of that stuff makes sense to me. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I think a lot of that happens when people get an understanding of the international commerce and world that we live in. Obviously, Ray on the corner, going to the convenience store, Bitcoin is probably not part of his world because he has not left the block or North Carolina or the state. But once you start getting an education when it comes to the euro and the other currencies that exist, this becomes one of those universal currencies that are able now to extend beyond the geographical boundaries of an America.
Do you think Bitcoin has the potential to take over the U.S. dollar completely so that there's...
Well, China has taken over the U.S. dollar. They own it to the tune of $3 trillion. So, yeah.
And
if we default...
Sidebar with that, the U.S. owns on the licensing. They just got all the skills to pull it together. That's the only reason that we maintain, our status. But I envision we'll all have a cute little bracelet because they have them now. Your Apple Watch, your Samsung Pay, your this and your that, and you no longer will need. You'll no longer need.
What you got?
Benjamins, Jacksons, and everything else because now you just download. You think how far away? We're gonna do it. How far away?
That was a cool sound effect.
All right, so everybody listening, I'm about to give y'all some real popular information. Wells Fargo is making their own stable coin. So I
that
think
only works at Staples when you purchase paper.
STABLE.
Stable
coin.
Stability.
So the reality of it is, they got to because all the bellying up that happened in the real estate market because they got sued for billions of dollars. So in order for them to stay in business, you got to create a different type of currency in order to create sustainability because you're screwed up.
And then be relevant again.
They don't trust you with what you were not a good steward with what they gave you before. So
I didn't think about it. I saw the unrest and uneasiness in Wells Fargo, and I just haven't looked into why. I haven't tried to educate myself because I really didn't care. But that makes a lot of sense.
A lot of malicious activity going on in the banking industry. J.P. Morgan had like the boat with all of the kilos of coke on it. So I believe that they're even trying to put out a RICO case against one of the major banking institutions as well, based on all of the fraud that's been going on. So this internal stable coin within Wells Fargo system is to help breed trust instead of distrust in our banking institutions. Like we should, as Americans, be able to trust our banks. Why does Bitcoin give us the power to be our own bank?
And this is important for you because as you're teaching sales, the currency in which they do that, and even the format and how it's done, will change the.
No, it's going to change a lot. As much as I don't want it to, because I understand this system. I completely understand. Like the only constant thing is change, right? So that's huge for me to hear that and to actually understand what's going on there. You're talking about, Americans should be able to trust their banks. And the reason I laughed at that is no. It's I think that people in general should be able to trust their ability and their understanding of the financial system that they live in. Whether you're going to create something, I don't know, but you're talking about all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, good. As there's paths and all that stuff that people can actually follow and create stuff in. What? I have no idea.
And as an entrepreneur, even when I talk to people today, and we're talking about how they accept payments, a lot of them don't even have the basics set up to be able to accept a payment from somebody other than cash. I'm like, so how do you create a sustainable model when the only form of currency that you accept is cash? you have to be able to set up multiple streams where if a person wants to pay this way, I'm going to make it convenient for you.
But see,
And if you're internationally based, how you going
and here's the problem what people have run into that I've heard from small business entrepreneurs, that when someone pays other than the form of cash, like they're paying electronically, if they're paying through these different apps, people have gotten very clever on how to get products and services for free. Meaning people will contact their banks and do what's called a chargeback, per se. And it's a long, tedious process to be able to go back and forth with the bank as someone who legitimately provided a product or service to a consumer to get that money back. And by that time, they've had time to change their account, depending on how large the transaction is. You know, it could have been thousands of dollars, you know, that you could have purchased somewhere, and they say, well, I never received a product, like for somebody purchases something on Amazon. The bank automatically gives them that money back. The person goes and cancels that, withdraws the money, cancels the account. Now, how are you going to get that? How is Amazon going to get that money back once they prove that no, the products were delivered to this address and signed for them?
So I do believe that the old saying with being an entrepreneur is the customer is always right, but our customers do find out how to get shady and clever. So I do believe that, like, by accepting cryptocurrency or other forms of payment, like you can set up a Square account if you haven't already, to start taking credit card payments or debit card payments.
How do you prevent someone from charging back the Square account?
Okay, so to prevent chargebacks, it's going to have to go through a review process because, like you said, some people.
In other words, it doesn't prevent it.
It doesn't prevent
It just gets challenged.
So,
now, once again,
so you would have
for
to use something.
legitimate claims. The systems need to be in place because there are times where the package is not received, and if it's not, that person is entitled to their money back. But in any system, people are people, and once you introduce the human element to any type of system, it breaks the system down. So it can be a perfect system, but you throw the human element into that system, it's no longer perfect because we deal with imperfect people that try to get over, that try to defraud, that try to scam and cheat, but that's where you hope that they get caught. Pay the price, pay the penalty. What comes around goes around.
And people companies like Amazon right now, I'm sure you guys have heard about it because it's happening here in Charlotte a lot. You know, they have this thing called, I think has something to do with Amazon Key. I'm not sure exactly what they've branded it as, but pretty much what it is it will record the package at your door.
It does.
Wow.
So I just ordered a package and it was not received, and they sent me a link where I could track the truck, like an Uber. Like I could literally see where it was going and if it came to my final destination. And and I've always gotten things, I was like, y'all got a new driver clearly. But when it didn't arrive, Amazon immediately refunded my money. So, and they, just like I was looking, they were looking too.
Now, what about,
and I'm like, this is not my house.
What about when people, when something like that happens and it is delivered to your home, but someone else comes by and takes it?
There's recordings of that.
Right.
How?
Well, it depends.
How do you record someone walking up to your doorstep? Because I've had stuff taken
Stolen.
from my doorstep, stolen from my doorstep.
So with what Amazon is talking about, it's pretty much a camera at your door, especially if you're ordering very frequently. And very soon
Almost
you'll
like a
have,
ring.
Yeah,
Like the ring.
You'll
It's like
have,
the ring.
You have people come to your house door to door selling that stuff. Don't ask me how I know. But you have people coming to your doors selling that subscription. And, you know, for Amazon, it's clever because, hey, listen, here is a need because people are stealing stuff, right? So we're going to charge you. At the end of the day, what value do are you going to put in the security of the package that you're buying? So it's over there, so we know, okay, do you have that security? It's almost insurance for your stuff. Because right now you can
And they have insurance.
Yeah,
exactly.
So-
They got insurance out there for packages to help prevent that. But at the end of the day, people are going to always steal.
Yeah,
You know what my
Always.
thing is, though? If you don't have an office to have something delivered to, the U.S. Postal Service, you can get a certain size box that you can get things delivered directly to the post office, and based upon how much this Amazon subscription costs compared to how much it would cost you to
You can get a small box, small P.O. box.
U.S.
Have stuff
Postal
delivered.
Service annually, you know, but some people don't even think that far to do the math. They're just, and not to knock the Amazon subscription and stuff, but I'm like, well, if I can just get it, you know, received at Postal Service.
And I think it has to do with volume. Because obviously,
that
if
would
you're
be
doing
something for a
this
company, someone that's
consistently,
getting large portions or
you know,
or
or
quality.
even people that just order most things from Amazon.
Yeah.
Right.
For me, that would make sense because I don't go to the malls anymore. You know what I mean? I really, I don't even go.
I'm
to,
all walking.
I don't even go to the supplement shops anymore.
You don't go to the mall anymore?
No,
You don't
order
people watch
online.
them? You don't watch people and learn?
no,
I mean, I want to see them.
not that interested.
I go to the mall. I go to the experts to figure out what I'm gonna wear, how I'm gonna wear, what am I gonna buy, measure my neck, what's my waist size, my this, my that, my arms, and then order it through Amazon.
Absolutely.
After you get all the information and know exactly what it is,
want
because
what you
obviously
need.
you don't want to order
glad you
something in a
didn't say
certain
the
size.
work and it don't
Yeah,
fit.
so you know,
I'm
just
sorry, I go to the
saying.
mall because I go and get massages and I go and just browse. I mean, I want to be able to touch and feel.
That's not my world.
And see, yeah.
I'm least likely to go
That's me.
shopping
I don't
unless
go
I'm
often.
out. I've got to be in another, literally the mall. God knows Walmart started delivering. I don't even need to go there anymore. Like I don't.
Well, they actually
do.
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
because they deliver.
Yeah.
I don't even need to go there anymore. I'm not.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
not
I'm just saying,
my.
browser from time to
So
time.
we have touchers and we have non-touchers,
Yeah.
depending
If
upon
you're doing
whether or not you want germs or not.
Like you want to know, you know what I'm saying? For
And you can get better deals online than you can.
not necessarily.
But eventually, society, if you look at the trends, is
It is
going
going
in
to.
that direction.
It is.
Yes.
Everything's
Because
going
they're
online.
closing down brick and mortars
Constantly.
left and right because of the overhead and the utilities and the costs associated with it. So it is an inevitable change. That
I
is
was hurt
taking
when
place.
Toys R Us got, like, when Amazon took
yeah.
out Toys R Us. I was
Don't
like,
get it
When they closed FAO Schwartz, I knew
Who is that?
it was a new world.
Yeah, it's
FL
happening. Like
FAO Schwartz.
you go to
remember
malls.
the movie Big?
You go to malls now
with Tom Hanks, that huge toy store that Tom Hanks played in a movie called Big, and he was on the piano.
Oh, about
The big toy store, that's FAO Schwartz. It's in New York City, and they literally closed down.
Oh, wow.
That has been around for.
Hey, well,
the-
don't get it
for
twisted. I do
eternal.
have
You
an
got
Amazon
Macy's
Prime
closing
account.
down. You got Sears closing down.
Not Target,
You get bored and you look over
Kmart
Kmart.
closing down.
Order my,
Circuit City.
Circuit City. That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
all of that.
Well,
I'm
nobody can hear you.
Right.
But you were saying.
No, in malls right now, right? Like you see a lot of people, or a lot of malls. They're starting to have more doctors' offices, you know,
Exactly.
dentist offices.
Right.
Because that's something
You know,
can't be
churches.
You can't
Right.
get
You know what I
from.
mean? That's what they're putting in there because all these
Right.
other places, they're just going. You know, you can
Right.
get all that stuff online.
Right.
You know.
Hey.
Yeah.
With the transition into Bitcoin, can you imagine the future arguments on court TV? Run me my Bitcoin.
Yep.
Run me my Bitcoin. This baby don't operate on dollars no more. Run me my Bitcoin.
yeah,
Okay.
salary. People can get salaries in Bitcoin.
People can get salaries on Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, you can get your salary in Bitcoin. Yeah, there it's in Layton, in our backyard, in Charlotte, North Carolina. There's a company called Block Card, which is supposed to be like the Visa or the MasterCard that helps you with holding multiple cryptocurrencies. So I definitely believe that if we can really set up programs to create more awareness. The other day, my business partner Nisha, she was helping somebody over the age of 50. So we help grandparents. If you are 13 years old, you can set up a blockchain wallet and get Bitcoin. So we definitely want to try to help the community get into this new generation of wealth.
Wonderful.
Family, you heard it here. You are tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour, where we look to provide you information and inspiration. We want you to profit and grow in every area of your lives.
Bless God.
Press the button.
She's like, I was waiting. Right.
I gotta
I didn't know that.
their salary on Bitcoin